So, my story is going to start on February 14th, 1966, at our Lutheran church in Austin, Minnesota. You've heard the old story, boy meets girl. Boy and girl, they fall in love. But in that time period, in Austin, Minnesota, if the boy was Catholic, or the girl was Catholic and the boy was Lutheran, you didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It caused a lot of problems. You didn't do mixed religions. It was actually a sin. But against all odds, they were coming together on Valentine's Day. Against the odds, they thought their love was strong enough to make it through everything. And they stood up there, and at the front of the church, before the pastor and all of his family was there, and not one of hers was.
Mm-hmm.
By making this choice, she had been disowned. She was no longer a member of this family. She couldn't see her children. She couldn't see her siblings. She couldn't see her parents. She immediately had to move out. It was done. They were done. Well, they were young, and they believed in the power of love. And you can live on love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got this little baby apartment. He was going to school, and she was working down at the local attorney's office as a receptionist. And then at night, he worked as a manager at a pizza joint. They were making it.
Mm-hmm.
About 4 weeks later, kind of reminds me of your story. She said, honey, we're going to have a baby. Oh no. They were barely feeding themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had this, and she was like, it's okay, we can do it. We're going to do it. And they were planning on doing it. And they were going to make it, and everything was going to be good, and they were going to live happily ever after. And then a letter came in the mail. And it said, you need to report on such and such a date for Vietnam. He's like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I've got a new wife. I was just going to have a baby. We're living in this. We're barely making it. She can't make it on this. What is she going to do when she has the baby? What are we going to do? And then his parents, they were like, it's okay. It's all right. Just calm down. She can move in with us. Well, she did. And she had that baby. It was me. And she was so proud. She sent a picture and a letter just about every day across the waters. He was on a ship somewhere near Vietnam and was trying her best. But you know what? They didn't eat the same. They didn't treat her the same. His parents, they were as old as her grandparents. They didn't treat her like the adult. She was an adult, darn it. She was supposed to be living on her own. She was going to be having a baby, and then they're going to treat her like a kid. This was no better than when she was at home. So she said, I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna make it on my own. And she did. During that time, now that she wasn't with those Lutherans anymore, her dad and her mom, they started to talk to her and said, hey, you know, it's okay. You know, we'll accept your, I was considered a bastard because it wasn't a legitimate marriage. And so we'll accept your bastard child in there, and we'll do this, and we'll make it work there if you do what we say. Well, she wasn't willing to go over there, but she was missing her family. She was missing her brothers and sisters. And she sent a letter. Those letters that once were filled with love said, we need to talk when you come home on leave. And she was like, and I want you to come and see me first, not your parents. Now you gotta remember, this is an 18-year-old girl. And, well, no, 19 now. She was 19, so she's a big 19. And she was stubborn and bullheaded, and she was like, you come and see me first. You need to show me that you love me more than your parents. He showed up in their car. And that was it. She said, I'm done. I want a divorce. I don't want anything. I don't want anything. And he said, but what about Jan? I don't want any child support. Just leave us alone. It'll be best. Just leave me alone. It's done. And everything in his gut was like, I need to fight for it. And her parents were going, it's done. You need to stay away from her. We're going to get an attorney. It's already done. Your marriage has been annulled. It's done. So he was heartbroken, and he was angry, and he was bitter. And he actually signed up for a couple more tours in Vietnam afterwards for the most dangerous, the bloodiest, the ickiest tours. And I don't think at that point he really cared if he lived or died. He lived. He excelled and he did well. Meanwhile, there's this girl she's grown up. She knows, yeah, I got this other dad, but I've got a new dad, and he's my daddy. He's the one who's been there, and I'm not missing anything, and everything's good, right? Well, let's fast forward. Now this girl's 13, and they've said no. Who knows for what? But she's mad. And then they say no about something else, and she's mad again. And I'm like, well, you're not my real dad anyway. And the response was not good. The response was really angry because he'd been in my life, my stepdad, since I was 2. He rubbed my legs every single night when I had growing pains. When I got my period for the first time, guess what? He took out his embroidered hankies, because nothing else was around, and handed them over. I mean, he did everything that a dad was supposed to do. He taught me how to play horse, undo it. I played hot box with him. We fought over math, everything. But I was mad. So it was amazing. I talked to my grandma, the one who thought of me as a bastard down there, and she gave me the number to my birth father. And I called him up when I was 13, and I said, hi. He's was a Fortune 500, ran a Fortune 500 company, and I said, hi. Is this gentleman here? And they were like, yes. And they said, may I ask who's calling? I said, well, this is Jan. This is his daughter. And immediately he picked it up. But he didn't know if my name was Jan or if it was Kyle, my middle name. He hadn't had anything to do with me. He didn't know. And I didn't know really why nobody had anything to do with me. But I had such a bad reception from my stepdad, I was like, whoa, I'm not doing this anymore. So let's fast forward, and all of a sudden I'm 24. I'm pregnant with my second child. And I know he's out in the West Coast, and I meet him at the airport for the first time. It's a scary thing. I'm about ready to wet my pants. And I don't know what to say. We don't know what to say. Everybody's walking on eggshells. And we just spend a lot of time just looking at each other. You know what? I looked at his hands. And he's got my hands. But I made the mistake. And I told my stepdad about it. And he went off the deep end. It was not okay. So I was like, I can't hurt my dad. I can't hurt him. I can't hurt him. I gotta just step away. I can't do this. And I did. Fast forward. I'm now 45. My son is showing signs of a neuromuscular disease that my dad, my birth father, and his family, all the men, suffer from. And I don't know what to do. It's incurable. There is no treatment. There's nothing I can do. And you know what? My daughter, she's getting ready to get married, and what if she has boys? What if I pass this on to them? So I thought, I gotta reach out. For my babies, I gotta reach out. I gotta be there. So I went and I talked to my dad, my stepdad. It gets kind of confusing. So my stepdad is daddy because he's the one he was there. And he is still my daddy. And I told him, I said, Daddy, I don't want to hurt you. I love you. And I won't do it if you don't want to, but this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do, and this is why. And he said, Jan, and he held my hands, and then he brought him to his mouth and he kissed him. And he said, if I would have been a better dad, if I would have grown up just a little bit sooner, you would have seen him sooner. And he said it was my own selfishness and insecurity that kept this from happening. Now my mom had passed away since then, and he encouraged me to go. And I'll tell you, I went for 8 days to a place, and I met his wife, and it was kind of scary. And we talked, but nobody wanted to hurt anybody's feelings. Nobody wanted to accuse, nobody wanted anything, so we were like walking on eggshells all the way through. It was very interesting. It was this dance that just kept going back and forth, and it was very, very, very elegant and neatly done. And we went home. And before I left, I sat there and I gave him a kiss on the cheek And he sat there, he went like this, and tears rolled down his cheeks. And he said, I've been waiting for that my entire life.
Mm.
But now we fast forward. I've gone a couple of times, and now we give a hard time to each other. And you know what? I never quite fit in. I was always just a little bit different than my brother and sister. We were all raised together, but my sense of humor, expressions, mannerisms, they were right there. They were in front of me. And every time I went, I was like a sponge soaking in every bit of information that I could absolutely get. It was beautiful. And each time I came back, I felt a little fuller and a little like, hey, I get this. I feel it. I understand this. And I felt so good. And I came back and I shared it with Daddy, and he was like, that's good. Keep it up. Keep going. Fast forward a couple of years. My birth father with that disease, he's pretty skeletal at this point. He's in a automatic chair, wheelchair type of thing, scooter. He's got to have a neck brace to hold up his neck. He's on a mechanically ground diet, and even that is too much now. They're getting ready to do feeding tubes. Since I saw him in February when I went to see him on his birthday, the first one we ever spent together, he's lost 50 more pounds. A 10-minute conversation is too much. I made another thing, and I told my daddy, I said, I need to go. And he said, yeah, you do. And my brother was there. My brother who was raised with me, who I love dearly, but he doesn't understand. He thinks I'm betraying Daddy. And he hasn't talked to me in a year. But with all of this, it's still okay. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more of those moments. I wish I could learn more, but you know what? This journey has not just been about finding my dad. This journey was about finding me.